Look, I have to vent about this because what occurred 3 years back still fills me with rage, and frankly, perhaps I'll finally act on it. You all might believe this household is utterly crazy, but I swear every detail is accurate. Here's the background. My sibling Gerald has forever been the favored one. Always. We're discussing a man who could practically get away with homicide, and my folks Lawrence and Tamara would somehow twist it as him being misinterpreted. On the other hand, I'm the household letdown who evidently can't succeed at anything, despite having a steady career, possessing my home, and caring for my special needs child Patrick without requesting aid from them. 3 years prior, things spiraled into total chaos. Gerald's spouse Brenda received a breast cancer diagnosis, stage 2, requiring operation and treatment, the entire ordeal. You'd assume this is when a responsible spouse rises to the occasion, correct? Incorrect. This jerk concluded that managing his ill partner was overly taxing, so he began an affair with a lady from his fitness center named Lee. And it's not some fleeting fling. This guy was staying over at her residence while his spouse was undergoing actual chemotherapy, but hold on, it escalates. Lee wound up expecting. As Brenda battles for survival, this lady is pregnant with my sibling's child, and the whole family was aware. Not me, however. I was kept unaware because supposedly I'm not reliable for family confidences. This is where my folks truly revealed their nature. Rather than being appalled that their offspring was betraying his cancer-fighting wife, they were delighted. My mother Tamara kept raving about how Gerald merited joy and how Lee was such a gift in his existence. My father Lawrence actually stated the infidelity was likely the greatest event in Gerald's life since now he'd have motivation to begin anew. They purchased them a residence. A real residence. Initial payment, final fees, everything. A 4-bedroom traditional in the upscale area because their upcoming grandkid required a suitable dwelling. Meanwhile, Brenda is residing with her sibling because Gerald evicted her from their flat so Lee could relocate there. Now here's the segment that truly infuriates me. My child Patrick has autism and ADHD. He's 8 and he's the most wonderful youngster you'll encounter, but he requires occupational sessions and speech sessions to aid his growth. The appointments run about $800 monthly post-insurance, and my former spouse and I shared it. But she relocated nationwide for employment and ceased contributing. I was coping, but it was strained. I erred by requesting my folks if they could assist with Patrick's session expenses, just briefly, until I sorted alternatives. Want to hear their response? My mother stared right at me and questioned why they'd squander funds on a child who'd never be typical anyhow. She claimed Patrick was already flawed like me, and they weren't tossing good funds after poor. Then she truly struck hard. She stated Gerald produces lovely, intelligent offspring, but I created a child who's never going to achieve much and will likely reside in my cellar eternally. My father chuckled, genuinely chuckled. He remarked special needs is merely a term for upcoming failure and the fruit doesn't drop far from the trunk. I presented them Patrick's school advancement documents. This child had advanced from scarcely talking to reading on level in half a year. His instructor noted he was among the most diligent pupils they'd witnessed. My mother skimmed the documents and said I must cease feigning he'll ever succeed and that they weren't financing another era of defeat. But the utter worst, they informed our wider relatives not to squander funds on presents for Patrick's birthday events since he wouldn't comprehend them anyhow. Then they shared everywhere on online platforms about being fortunate. In the upcoming short video, catch the complete story with the channel link provided below.